Hi, what would you do if a doctor said you or someone you loved had 6 months or less to live? Most people would be shaken to their core. At some point in your life, you or someone you know might face a life-limiting illness, or you might become a caregiver to someone who has a terminal illness. Once past that initial shock, most people think about what they're going to do next. I'm a licensed master social worker with nearly 10 years of experience working with people who've been diagnosed with a terminal illness. Today, I'd like to inform you of some rights that are specific to people with terminal illnesses. Although there are healthcare-related laws in place to protect the rights of all people, I have experienced that there are some rights that are either compromised or taken away from people with terminal illnesses. Today, I'll discuss a dying person's right to have full or partial disclosure of their diagnosis and prognosis, which is their expected outcome, their right for self-determination, and their right to have caregivers who are fully knowledgeable of their diagnosis and prognosis, and who are supportive and willing to carry out their end-of-life wishes. People who are terminally ill have the right to either have full or partial disclosure of their diagnosis and prognosis. Some people want to know everything, while others don't want to hear any bad news. Part of a good patient-doctor relationship is that doctor's understanding of what and how much their patient wants to know about their illness, about their expected outcome, and what available treatments there are out there. In an attempt to protect the person's emotional well-being, information is often, but should not be, withheld from a person, either by the physician or by family members. If that person wants full disclosure, that knowledge can empower them to make informed decisions about their future. Secondly, a terminally ill person has the right for self-determination. They have the right to participate in all decisions made related to their care and their death. And according to Kessler, they have the right to choose to have other people make those decisions for them. They have the right to seek treatment or to refuse treatment. They can seek second opinions if they choose, and they can refuse any treatment that's only going to prolong the inevitable. A terminally ill person has the right to choose how they die. They have the right to die in peace and with dignity. They have the right to be free of any physical pain, and they have the right to not die alone. According to Hulamin and Keogh, today, more people die in hospitals and other facilities than they do in their own home. Thirdly, a person living with a terminal illness has the right to have caregivers who are fully knowledgeable and supportive and willing to carry out their end-of-life wishes. They have the right to expect that any professional care provider is properly educated and trained to render the services they need, and they have the right to expect that that provider will provide all the care that they've been contracted to provide. They have the right to appoint a surrogate agent to act on their behalf to make sure all their end-of-life wishes are carried out, and they can do this through an advance directive according to the National Hospice Palliative Care Organization. In conclusion, I'd like to remind you that my purpose was to inform you of some rights that are specific to people who have been diagnosed with a terminal illness. Today, I explained that although there are health care laws in place to protect the rights of all people, I have experienced that there are some rights that are either compromised or taken away from people who have been diagnosed with a terminal illness. First, I discussed a person's right to have either full or partial disclosure of their diagnosis and prognosis. Secondly, I discussed a patient's right for self-determination. And lastly, I discussed the patient's rights to have caregivers who are knowledgeable, supportive, and willing to carry out their end-of-life wishes. As a reminder, I've worked for nearly 10 years as a licensed master social worker with people who have been diagnosed with a terminal illness. At some point, each of you will either know someone who's facing a terminal illness, or you might be faced with that situation yourself. You might even become a caregiver to someone who has a terminal illness. Now that you've been informed of some rights that are specific to people with terminal illnesses, again, I ask you, what would you do if the doctor said you or someone you love had 6 months or less to live? Think about it. Thank you.